And a very pleasant good afternoon, baseball fans, and welcome to another edition of Henley Hornets Baseball on 104.3 and 960 Sports and MyBasin.com. Henley at home again today, taking on a crosstown rival in the South Side Series as the Mazama Vikings get set to visit Rosser Field this afternoon. Again, my name is Josh Eldridge. Thank you so much for being here. Again, we are at Rosser Field on the campus of Henley High School for this Skyline Conference matchup between the 12-1 Hornets and the 1-9 Vikings. Henley unbeaten in Skyline Conference play so far after picking up a pair of convincing wins earlier in the week against Klamath Union. Mazama's taken a small break from conference play, although they return to it today. Right now 0-2 in the Skyline Conference. We'll take a look at the Skyline Conference as well as a look around the state as the Hornets are ranked number 1 in the 4A classification. We'll tell you who joins them in the top 10. Of course, starting lineups and first pitch. That's all coming up as we continue your coverage of Hornets baseball on 104.3 and 960 Sports and MyBasin.com.
Introducing Smith Bates Marcom Solutions, your trusted partner in marketing and communication. We specialize in crafting compelling campaigns, eye-catching graphics, and impactful branding materials.
Smith Bates is like working with dependable friends. They always help us build our professional image.
Through the innovative strategies that the team at Smith Bates suggested, we've been able to give the brand at Calor the boost that it desperately needed.
Unlock your potential with Smith Bates Marcom Solutions.
Wait, all I do is wait. So lonely, I just sigh and moan. Seems like I've been waiting forever, wondering if you're coming home. I just saw your face, I know you're coming home. I swear there is no place that feels as good as home. And then I heard your voice, I know you're coming home. I know you're coming home.
This is where unconditional love and immeasurable happiness reside. This is home. Coldwell Banker, where home begins.
Threads. There are many threads that run through our region. There are churches and schools and Little League teams that bring us together and bind us into communities. There are roads and cars. There are houses and jobs and businesses, all woven together to make the fabric of our communities. There are financial threads that are part of that tapestry as well. For over 80 years, it's been our pleasure to be headquartered here, providing financial services to generations of our friends and neighbors. From that first savings account, to retirement planning, and all of the cars and houses and groceries in between, we keep your money local, investing it back into our communities, adding more threads to the fabric to make our communities stronger. Pacific Crest Federal Credit Union. Find your path.
The innocence of youth. Is there anything any better? But soon they'll be in high school and facing all the same challenges you faced. How to make friends, how to fit in, how to be cool. We want our children to have everything they'll need to live fulfilling and productive lives. Make sure the kids in your family are among the more than 120,000 participants here in Oregon who take part in high school sports or activities.
And we welcome you back to Henley Baseball on 104.3 and 960 Sports and MyBasin.com. A few minutes away from first pitch today between the Hornets and the Vikings. Before we take a look at each of these two teams specifically, let's check in on the Skyline Conference standings. Right now, Henley and Hidden Valley tied for the top of the conference, each of them 4-0. And Henley 12-1, Hidden Valley 8-3 overall. That's why the Hornets have the edge right now over the Mustangs, although with those two teams playing 2 times next week, things could always be changing. But right now, the Mustangs and the Hornets at the top of the conference, followed by the Phoenix Pirates, who are 0-2 and 4-8 overall. The Mazama Vikings, who we've got here today, are 0-2 in league play, 1-9 overall. And Klamath Union is 0-4 in conference play. They are 1-11. Picked up a couple of losses against Henley earlier in the week. As we take a look at both of those games, I mean, you take a look at the one back on Tuesday, an 11-1 victory for Henley. I think if everyone was honest, you'd say maybe that's what you'd expect from a game between the Pelicans and the Hornets. I mean, Henley ranked number 1 in the state. Klamath Union ranked last in the state. You'd probably expect a mercy rule situation there. I don't think anybody could have predicted what happened on Thursday when Henley won 35-2. They batted around 3.5 times in the first inning. They scored 25 runs in the first. Mark Carpenter hit 2 home runs in that inning, and Henley won in convincing fashion. Now, Mazama is also no stranger to games with an absurd score line, as they lost on Thursday to a similar tune to the Mustangs, 32-2. They also lost 15-14 to Hidden Valley earlier in that week. Right now they enter play on a 4-game skid. Their last win was at the Hidden Valley Spring Break Tournament when they defeated North Valley 9-6. Defeating the 3A Knights is Mazama's only win so far this season. Looking to get back to winning ways against a crosstown rival in Henley today. This rivalry known as the Southside Series. A couple of county schools going at it. Again, they're only separated by, I don't know, about an 8-minute drive, and a few miles apart are the Vikings and the Hornets, and always a great crowd and a great turnout and good school spirit when these two teams meet up. Right now, meeting in the middle, it's Joe Tacchini, the manager and the head coach of the Henley Hornets, and Mike Edwards for Mazama, trading lineup cards and meeting with our umpires today. That is our cue to step aside one more time in the pregame show. When we come back, as we get started with the top of the first inning, we'll allow you to meet both starting lineups, and of course, first pitch lays ahead on 104.3 and 960 Sports and MyBasin.com.
Sport was kind of defined me as a person. I loved to play every sport I could possibly play. The Abbeys was really the family stomping ground for all of our community. Saturday afternoon soccer tournaments, we'd head over to Abbeys afterwards. And then when we got up into middle school, on our way home, we'd stop at Abbeys after basketball games. When I go home, I want to see 2 things when I drive through Winston. I want to see my Abbeys, and I want to see my high school. And those are the 2 memories that stick out the most to me.
Threads. There are many threads that run through our region. There are churches and schools and Little League teams that bring us together and bind us into communities. There are roads and cars. There are houses and jobs and businesses, all woven together to make the fabric of our communities. There are financial threads that are part of that tapestry as well. For over 80 years, it's been our pleasure to be headquartered here, providing financial services to generations of our friends and neighbors. From that first savings account to retirement planning and all of the cars and houses and groceries in between, we keep your money local, investing it back into our communities, adding more threads to the fabric to make our communities stronger. Pacific Crest Federal Credit Union. Find your path.
Introducing Smith Bates Marcom Solutions, your trusted partner in marketing and communication. We specialize in crafting compelling campaigns, eye-catching graphics, and impactful branding materials.
Smith Bates is like working with dependable friends. They always help us build our professional image.
Through the innovative strategies the team at Smith Bates suggested, we've been able to give the brand at Calor the boost that it desperately needed.
Unlock your potential with Smith Bates Marcom Solutions.
Josh Eldridge back with you on 104.3 and 960 Sports and MyBasin.com. Just a few minutes away now from first pitch between the Hornets and the Vikings. Let's meet the starting lineups first for the visiting Mazama Vikings. Leading off, the pitcher, Jaden Justice. Batting second is Max Rogers in center field. Marcos Uloa Ford at shortstop, batting third, followed by the cleanup hitter in left. That's Mason Spivey. Deshaun Carter is catching and batting fifth for Mazama today. Hitting sixth, the first baseman, Carson Baith, followed by Jacoby Nickerson, the third baseman, batting seventh. Parker Whiteley is in right field, hitting eighth. And batting ninth is Kevin Black, the second baseman. That's your starting lineup for the Mazama Vikings. And they're going up against the Henley right-hander, the freshman Corbin Hamilton. Hamilton is making his 4th start of the season. This will be his 6th appearance overall. In 16 innings of work, Hamilton has a stellar ERA of 1.312. As far as win-loss goes for Corbin, he is 2-0 on the season, and he is getting the start today against the Mazama Vikings. Again, glad to be with you today from Rosser Field at Henley High School. As our vantage point just behind the right-handed batter's box, we are looking almost directly south towards the Golden State of California, which is just 20 miles looking that direction. And as we take a look at Rosser Field, 325 down the right field line. In right center, it's 350. In dead center field, 385, 350 in left center field, and then down the left field line, it is 315. So not a uniform look all the way around, although I would certainly consider Rosser Field to be probably more of a hitter's ballpark than anything. I mean, there's quite a bit of real estate along the foul lines, and especially as you get deeper, balls get out of play quicker. Hitters aren't recording easy outs, and there tends to be a jet stream that carries out towards left field pretty often, although as far as wind goes today, not too much to speak of. About 50 degrees right now as we get ready for first pitch. Should climb up to the mid-50s as this is the first of a doubleheader today. We've got 2 games on the schedule, and we are ready for the first pitch as Jaden Justice gets ready to lead things off for the Vikings. The first pitch is rattled foul down the third base side. First pitch, 11:57 today, 3 minutes earlier than we were scheduled to start. But here we go. Again, the first of a doubleheader today, and first time these two teams have met up this season. Here's the 0-1. That is taken for a ball. 1-1. The count to Jaden Justice. Take a look at some of these Mazama hitters on the season so far as Hamilton fires in strike 2. A ball and 2 strikes. Justice this season hitting 182. As a team, the Vikings have struggled at the plate this season, batting just 183 as a squad. Here's the 1-2 pitch from Hamilton. It is taken for strike 3 called, and down on strikes for the first out of the ball game is Jaden Justice. That will bring up the center fielder, Max Rogers. Rogers hitting 107 this season, only 3 hits in 28 plate appearances. Rogers is a freshman, though, getting his first varsity reps this season. It's important when you're looking to build back a program like Mazama, who only just a few seasons ago were in the state semifinal. 2-0 the count now to Max Rogers, their former head coach who took them to that state semifinal, Pete Whistler, now an assistant for the Henley Hornets. The 2-0 is hit on the ground towards third. Carpenter up with it, tosses on to Harper at first for the second out. And with it, let's meet the defense for the Henley Hornets. Connor Shively behind the dish, Mark Carpenter at third. Aiden Hayes plays shortstop with Max Price at second. Owen Harper plays first today for Henley. In the outfield from left to right, it's Luke Austin, Max Price, and Lane Frank as Marcos Ulloa Ford gets ready to step in the box. The first pitch to him is taken for strike 1. Maybe a bit high in the zone, but umpire today, the home plate umpire Darren Rutledge, calling that one a strike. Here's the 0-1. That one's going to be taken wide, a ball and a strike. Ulloa Ford, far and away the most productive hitter for Mazama this season, batting .500 coming into today's contest. He's also second on the team in walks. He gets on base to the best on his team, 63%. He checks his swing on the 2-1, holds up in time. The count now 3-1 to Ulloa Ford. Plays for the Klamath Falls Falcons in the summertime with a handful of Henley kids over there. I think Connor Shively, the catcher, Owen Harper, Lane Frank, Mark Carpenter, all guys who play for the Falcons, the American Legion team here, who plays at Kiger Stadium in the summertime. Full count pitch to Ulloa Ford. Swung on and missed, and the Vikings go down in order in the top of the first inning. Still scoreless as we head to the bottom half on 104.3 and 960 Sports and MyBasin.com.
Sports was kind of what defined me as a person. I loved to play every sport I could possibly play. The Abbeys was really the family stomping ground for all of our community. Saturday afternoon soccer tournaments, we'd head over to Abbeys afterwards. And then when we got up into middle school, on our way home, we'd stop at Abbeys after basketball games. When I go home, I want to see two things when I drive through Winston. I want to see my Abbeys, but I want to see my high school. And those are the two memories that stick out the most to me.
Getting ready for the bottom of the first inning today at Henley High School. The Hornets taking on the Vikings, and a scoreless top half brings up a Henley order that goes like this today. Starting in center field and leading off is Peyton Price. Connor Shively bats second at his catching today. Aiden Hayes, the shortstop, bats third. Mark Carpenter hitting cleanup at third base today. The first baseman, Owen Harper, bats fifth. Lane Frank in right field bats seventh today for Henley, followed by Bo Pyle, the designated hitter, batting eighth for the pitcher, Corbin Hamilton. Luke Austin, the left fielder, bats ninth for the Hornets, who are going up against Jaden Justice, the sophomore from Mazama High School, making his fifth start of the season. This is his sixth appearance overall on the year. He's pitched just under 10 innings, and in that work, he has an ERA of 12.7. Certainly not where he'd like it to be, but he's got an opportunity to try to trim that number down against a good Hornets order. I had mentioned that this team scored 35 runs against Klamath Union earlier this week. That was back on Thursday, and they did it with a ton of extra base hits, a couple of home runs in the first inning. We'll see if they've stayed hot coming into this rivalry doubleheader today. Henley in gray pants, even though they're the home team today, wearing navy blue tops with Henley written across the chest in gold. And Mazama today in dark gray uniforms. I really like their uniforms. They've got a thick blue stripe across the chest with Mazama written in it in black with black numbers, white trim on these dark gray jerseys. Really unique baseball uniforms that I don't think I've seen anyone else have, but Peyton Price ready to step in as he leads things off for the Hornets. Here's the first pitch. That one's taken inside, 1-0. One thing that Henley takes advantage of is free passes on the base paths, and in the 9.1 innings of work, Justice has allowed 14 walks, but this one is hit into shallow right field. Whiteley under it, and he will make the catch for the first out. That will bring up Connor Shively, the Henley catcher, and for Shively this season, it's been a good one for him. He is fifth on the team in batting average at .400, the left-handed bat. For Henley, awaits the first pitch. Here it is. Looked to be maybe an off-speed pitch. Taken for a ball, 1-0. Right fielder Parker shaded a bit towards the foul line. We'll meet the Mazama defense after this. The 1-0 on its way to Shively as Justice works out of the windup. Taken in the dirt. Deshaun Carter, the catcher for Mazama at third base. It's Nickerson. Uloa Ford at short with Black at second. Baith plays first. In the outfield from left to right, it's Spivey, Rogers, and Whiteley. It's a 2-0 count to Shively. That's an off-speed pitch that's going to miss outside, 3-0. In that game against Klamath Union on Thursday, I mentioned the free passes. It was, I believe, 17 was the final total for Klamath Union, issuing whether it was walks or hit by pitches, and just about all of them scored. 3 balls and a strike after one finds the outer third to Shively. Here's the pitch. That one's going to miss wide. And ball 4 given to Shively, who's now aboard at first, as that brings up Aiden Hayes. Hayes this season batting .381. He has played in every game for Henley so far this season. He started in every game as well. Hayes, a senior shortstop, has played, I believe, 3 seasons at the varsity level, this being his 3rd. Here's the first pitch to him. Breaking ball that's not going to break enough. It'll miss high, 1-0. Outfield shaded heavily towards the left. Hayes, generally a pull hitter, but a big gap on the right side of the infield. A little bit late on that pitch and fouls it off, 1-1. On deck is Mark Carpenter, the cleanup hitter for Henley. Right-hander Justice back on the mound, looking in, gathers the sign from Carter. Comes set. Here's the 1-1. Carter fires down to first after the strike called. Back safely, though, is Shively. A ball and 2 strikes, the count to Hayes. Shively a modest lead off of first. Nothing remarkable, but he's checked by Justice. And the 1-2. Shively takes off, and it's a foul ball. Looked like maybe a hit and run was on for Henley. Shively on the base paths this season. Hasn't attempted too many. But Henley as a team doesn't straight swipe bags all that much. 23 stolen bases to this point in the season. Ball and 2 strikes to Hayes. Shively, maybe a half step extra. He's going to take off. 1-2 is a curveball that's hit in the air towards third base. Under it now is the pitcher to make the catch as Justice puts away the second out. Brings up Mark Carpenter, who had a remarkable game last time out for Henley, even though he only played the first inning. He had 7 RBIs, 2 home runs, one of them being a grand slam in the big first inning for Henley back on Thursday. Bats here with 2 outs and a runner aboard at first. The pitch. That one's hit in the air towards center field, down for a base hit. And a 2-out single puts a runner in scoring position for Owen Harper. Harper has been battling out of a slump lately. He started the non-league season hitting about 111, now up to 152, as he's got most of his hits in league play. A good opportunity to try to give his team a lead, and he sends a jolt into left center field. Going back to the wall, and that one's going to bang off the wall. 1 run scores. They're waving in Carpenter. The throw is late, and a 2 RBI double for Owen Harper. It's the Hornets the lead in the bottom of the first. That one felt good for Owen Harper. That's one you barely feel coming off the bat. A 2 RBI double gives Henley a 2-0 lead, and it brings up Max Price. Starting second baseman for Henley, the freshman looking to keep the 2-out rally going. Here's the pitch. It's in the dirt, blocked by Carter. Good work by the Mazama catcher to keep it in front of him. Ball and a strike. For Harper, that's his 3rd double of the season. And his 4th RBI as well. Here's the 1-0. On its way to Price. Swung on and missed, pulled the string on him, had him out in front. A ball and a strike to Max Price. This season, Price hitting .256 Just about everyone in the Henley starting lineup hitting 250 or better. That's a nice luxury to have. The 1-1. That's going to miss inside, 2-1. On deck is Lane Frank. The 2-1 on its way from Justice. That one is going to miss high, maybe a bit outside as well. 3-1 to Price. One other game going on in the Skyline Conference today is Klamath Union hosts Phoenix. We'll see if we can get score updates for that game as we move throughout today's broadcast. As Justice comes set with the 3-1. Delivers. Max Price gets a hold of that one, although maybe just a bit under it in foul territory behind third. And it is not reined in foul territory. Aboard at second is Owen Harper. 2 outs in the bottom of the first and a full count to Max Price. Justice delivers. Hard hit line drive into left field, down for a base hit. They're going to wave around Harper to score, and he will standing. Trying to get to second is Price, and he extends that one into a double. Great base running there for Max Price, grabbing an extra base and knocking in the third run of the game for Henley. They lead 3-0. That'll bring up Lane Frank as 3 2-out hits have netted the Hornets 3 runs. Frank an opportunity to try to keep the rally going for Henley. Here's the pitch. First pitch swinging from Frank. He fouls it off. 0-1. Lane is hitting 240 this season. He's the only Henley starter who's not hitting 250. But, I mean, pretty darn close at 240, and he's got himself a nice role on this team. 0-1. Swung on and missed. 0-2. Out at second is Max Price, already 3 runs home for the Hornets in the bottom of the first. Coming set is Justice. Kicks and fires the 0-2, sent on a line into center field, and that's going to get down in front of Rogers. Price is going to score from second, and an RBI single for Lane Frank gives the Hornets a 4-0 lead. Brings up Bo Pyle, designated hitter today for Henley. He's hitting for the pitcher, Corbin Hamilton. 8th batter to hit this inning for Henley. Here's the pitch. Pyle hits one in the air to center field. Going over is Rogers, but that's over his head. Headed to third is Frank. They're waving him home. The throw is not going to be in time. They instead try to get Pyle in at third, but a bases clearing triple for Bo Pyle, and Henley leads now 5-0. Five hits in a row for the Hornets, all with 2 outs. And that brings up the 9-hitter in the order, Luke Austin. Runner 90 feet away, it's Bo Pyle. And Austin takes the first pitch to him, 0-1. Austin settling back in. Second leading hitter on the Hornets with a batting average of .467. Fouls one back. Count now 0-2. Henley softball also playing today on the field behind us. We'll try to check in on scores for that game as we move throughout today's broadcast. You can also watch that one on mybasin.com if you find yourself wanting to check in. The 0-2 on its way to Austin. That one's going to miss high. Ball and 2 strikes to Luke Austin. On deck, Peyton Price, who started this inning by flying out to right field. Justice ready to deliver the 1-2 pitch. Here it comes. Curveball that's going to miss high. 2 balls and 2 strikes, 2 outs. In the bottom of the first inning, Henley already up to a 5-0 advantage over Mazama. Here's the 2-2 on the way from Justice. Swung on and missed, and that will end the inning. But the Hornets score 5 on 5 base hits. They leave 1 stranded. No Mazama errors in the inning. And we head to the top of the second inning with Henley leading 5-0 on 104.3 and 960 Sports and mybasin.com.
Thanks to Les Schwab Tires, I'm a confident backseat driver, but Mom's a little stressed about spending. Remember, breathe in. Now watch your speed and breathe out. Good. Even though we're watching our wallets, Les Schwab is still watching out for our safety. So it's right here.
Help keep drivers and backseat drivers safe with Les Schwab Tires.
Top of the second inning ahead as Henley is up to a 5-0 lead over Mazama after a big bottom of the first. Due up to try to respond for Mazama, Mason Spivey, Deshaun Carter, and Carson Baith. That's 4, 5, 6 in the Viking order in the top of the second inning. Corbin Hamilton into his second inning of work is the starter today for Henley. Here's the first pitch. Fouled off, 0-1. The count to Spivey. Looking at him this season, batting a clean .200. That puts him as the 4th best hitter for Mazama this season. Started and played in every game for the Vikings this year. The 0-1 be taken high and tight. 1 ball and 1 strike to Spivey. Spivey swings and misses on what looked to be a changeup from Hamilton. 1-2. Corbin earned a win earlier this week when he started against Klamath Union on Tuesday. Missed the zone there. 2-2 to the leadoff hitter here in the top of the second inning. Henley leads 5-0. The 2-2. Taken for ball 3. Maybe a little bit inside to Spivey. He scooted out of the way of that one. I think that was the slider coming out from Hamilton. Started in on the hands and just didn't break back across the plate. The 3-2, an elevated fastball. Offered at and missed. Strike 3. Down goes Spivey, and that brings up Deshaun Carter. Third strikeout for Hamilton today. Deshaun Carter stepping in now. Also, Mazama basketball player. Had some great battles with Henley this season. Lane Frank on the Henley basketball team. So is Aiden Hayes. First pitch fouled back. 0-1 the count to Deshaun Carter. At this level, a lot of guys multi-sport athletes. I know Mazama's got a couple football players on this team as well, as Carter rips a ground ball back up the middle. And that'll be a base hit. With 1 out in the top of the second inning. Vikings in the hit column, and that brings up Carson Baith. Baith starting at first base today for Mazama. This season, he's batting .062. Hasn't had the start to the season he's looking for. Only 1 base hit in 16 at-bats. The first pitch to him. He gets into that one to center field. Price moving underneath it, and that will be the second out in the inning, bringing up Jacoby Nickerson. So Deshaun Carter aboard at first. 2 outs in the inning, and it looks like they're going to get Carter out for a runner, a courtesy runner at that, and running for him is going to be Carter Story, the freshman. Batting is Nickerson, batting .091 on the season. Takes the first pitch inside for ball 1. Hamilton comes set with the 1-0 and delivers. Fought off foul. Ball and a strike now to Jacoby Nickerson, the third baseman for Mazama. He is a freshman as well. This team is fairly young for Mazama. I see Max Rogers starting. You also have Nickerson starting, a couple of freshmen, a few sophomores in the lineup as well for the Vikes. But primarily a lot of juniors on this team. And only 2 seniors, both in the starting lineup today. The 2-1 is fouled back. 2 balls and 2 strikes. 2 outs in the top of the second. Runner aboard at first. It's Story. Parker Whiteley waits on deck. The 2-2 from Hamilton. It's taken for strike 3 called. And that will retire the side. The Vikings strand 1 base hit in the inning. They trail 5-0. We head to the bottom half of the second on 104.3 and 960 Sports and mybasin.com.
The innocence of youth. Is there anything any better? But soon they'll be in high school and facing all the same challenges you faced. How to make friends. How to fit in. How to be cool. We want our children to have everything they'll need to live fulfilling and productive lives. Make sure the kids in your family are among the more than 120,000 participants here in Oregon who take part in high school sports or activities.
Preparing for the bottom of the second inning, a game that Henley leads Mazama 5-0. Due up this half for the Hornets. It's the top of the order. Peyton Price, Connor Shively, and Aiden Hayes. And still going to work against Justice. Gave up 5 hits in that first inning, and all of them with 2 outs. Carpenter singled, Owen Harper doubled, Max Price doubled, Frank singled. Bo Pyle tripled, and that's how Henley scored all of their runs. It was just a good 2-out rally for the Hornets. See if Justice can rein it in and find some consistency, keep things where they are for the Vikes. Price stepping in now. He's 0 for 1 today, flew out in that first inning to right field. Price this season batting .400. His league play has started, aside from obviously the big games yesterday, or Thursday rather. He's been relatively quiet at the top of the order since league play started. Was leading the team in batting average heading into the first few games with Phoenix, and is now fourth on the team in batting average. Takes the first pitch 1-0. Now here comes the 1-0 from Justice. Hit hard into left center field. Under it is the center fielder who will make the catch for the first out. Brings up Connor Shively, who walked in the first. He would come around to score. Shively leads the team in runs scored at 20 so far this season. hits one into shallow left field. Over is the shortstop, Uloa Ford, and that will get down for a base hit. A one-out single for Shively. And that will bring up Aiden Hayes, who popped out to the pitcher in the first inning. Shively dancing around on the base paths a little bit in the first inning. We'll see now that he's back out there if there's anything cooking for the Hornets. Here's the first pitch to Hayes. It's in the dirt. Carter blocks it, kept it in front of him, got stuck in the feet of Hayes for a moment, but nobody's moving. It's a 1-0 count to Aiden Hayes. Justice comes set. The right-hander kicks and fires. Shively takes off from first. Hayes sends one into the air to right field. Whiteley underneath it makes the catch. Shively has to scurry back to first, and that's the second out. So Mark Carpenter bats now with 2 away and a runner aboard at first. This was the similar situation he found himself in the first inning when he singled and began the 2-out rally that netted the Hornets 5 runs. Here's Carpenter stepping in. Here's before the first pitch to Carpenter, it's going to be Justice who steps off. Mark this season, batting .400, leads his team in home runs and RBIs. 4 homers, 23 RBIs for Carpenter this season. Here's the pitch. Taken for a strike. Throw down to first to try to backdoor Shively back safely. But Carpenter behind the count now 0-1. It looked like Justice started the at-bat with a changeup, and Carpenter was waiting fastball. So now 0-1 the count to Carpenter. Justice looks in, gathers the sign from Carter, who sets up on the outside part of the plate. Here's the 0-1. That is taken for strike 2. Carpenter behind in the count now. Owen Harper waits on deck. Justice ready to deliver the 0-2 to Carpenter. Runner going, and that's hit in the air to center field. The right fielder Whiteley over, and he will be the one to make the catch and end the inning. The Hornets leave one stranded, 1 base hit in the inning, but no runs for Henley as we head to the top half of the third. And the Hornets lead 5-0 on 104.3 and 960 Sports and MyBasin.com.
What rhymes with great?
Participate.
Where does greatness start? Here, in the classroom. On the stage.
In the pool.
On the field.
Where will your greatness take you?
To better grades.
To more friends.
Yeah! Be great.
Participate!
Ready for the top of the third inning from Rosser Field on the campus of Henley High School. The Hornets leading the Vikings 5-0. Due up this half for Mazama as they try to cut into this lead is Parker Whiteley, Kevin Black, and Jaden Justice. Whiteley stepping in now for the Vikings. This season for Whiteley, he's batting .167. Whiteley, a junior for Mazama, but only his second season playing with the Vikings and making varsity. Certainly a Good feet there for Parker as he takes strike one. The 0-1 to Whiteley is taken low. Ball and a strike. Always knows a ball player when he doesn't rock the batting gloves at the plate. Something I always respect. Here's the 1-1 to Whiteley. Fists one foul. Ball and two strikes there to Whiteley. Infield shaded a bit in. The 1-2 to Whiteley is swung on and missed. The changeup. Whiteley goes down on strikes for the first out, and that brings up Kevin Black. Hamilton dealing the ball well. That's already his fifth strikeout this game. And Black steps in. Black, a junior for the Vikings, takes strike one. This season for Black, he is getting his first start of the season. Black has only played in 6 games this year for the Vikes. He's hitless in 12 at-bats so far this season. Chased a fastball out of the zone to make the count 0-2. Here's the pitch. That one's going to miss high. Black learned from his mistake on the previous pitch, takes that one, and the count moves to 1-2. Hamilton fires the 1-2. Ground ball up the middle. Over is the shortstop Hayes. On to first in time, and the Vikings quickly up to 2 outs here in the top of the third. That brings up Jaden Justice. Justice 0 for 1 today, a strikeout casualty in the first. Now is the pitcher for the Vikings, hoping to get a rally started, help himself out a bit. Takes the first pitch wide, 1-0. Justice hitting .182 this season. 1 extra base hit this year as he takes a strike. 1-1 to the Mazama pitcher. Hamilton kicks and delivers. Nice curveball there from Hamilton. Had Justice chasing on a pitch out of the zone. 1-2. Hamilton working quickly on the mound. Fires the 1-2. Straight heat and past Justice for another strikeout, and the Vikings go down in order in the top of the third. We head to the bottom half where Henley leads 5-0 on 104.3 and 960 Sports and MyBasin.com.
Introducing Smith Bates Marcom Solutions, your trusted partner in marketing and communication. We specialize in crafting compelling campaigns, eye-catching graphics, and impactful branding materials.
Smith Bates is like working with dependable friends. They always help us build our professional image.
Through the innovative strategies the team at Smith Bates suggested, we've been able to give the brand at Calor the boost that it desperately needed.
Unlock your potential with Smith Bates Marcom Solutions.
Back with you for Henley Baseball on 104.3 and 960 Sports. Not the only action going on today on MyBasin.com. Of course, the Henley softball team is also playing over at, just right behind us, as a matter of fact. And we take a look at their score, very similar to the one we see in front of us. The Henley Lady Hornets lead Mazama 5-0. And our Henley Baseball leads the Vikings 5-0 as well, as the Hornets get ready for the bottom half of the third. It'll be Owen Harper, Max Price, and Lane Frank due up. That's 5, 6, and 7 in the Henley order. Harper jolted one in RBI, 2 RBI double back in the first inning. Bats now to lead off the third. Here's the first pitch from Justice. That'll be taken for a strike. 0-1 now to Harper. Quite a good crowd today here at Rosser Field. Always is. Again, when I mention these two teams facing off. Vikings and the Hornets, a couple of crosstown rivals. The 0-1 to Harper. Hit in the air behind third. Uloa Ford, the shortstop, calls everybody off, and he will make the catch running backwards. A difficult catch to make for the shortstop, but Uloa Ford reins it in for the first out. So that will bring up Max Price, who also doubled in the first inning, knocked in a run. So makes him 1 for 1 today. The freshman for the Hornets, hitting well this year, .256. First pitch to Price, and as far as a freshman batting at the varsity level, very impressive for Max Price. Take a look at some of the other freshmen on the team. Corbin Hamilton, in a smaller sample size, is batting .267. Carson Sims is batting .167. That's, again, compared to Price, who's been batting .256 this year. It's a 2-0 count to him right now. One away in the bottom of the third. Henley leads 5-0. All of their runs coming back in that first inning. Uloa Ford bestowing a bit of wisdom on Justice before he delivers the 2-0 that will miss high, 3-0. On deck, we mentioned Lane Frank, as the 3-0 pitch to Price is on the way. Curveball that misses inside. A one-out walk will put Price aboard for Lane Frank. Only the second walk surrendered by Justice today. The other one was to Connor Shively, and he would score after reaching base in the first inning. Here's Lane Frank, who's 1 for 1. Had an RBI single in the first inning. First pitch is taken in the dirt. Carter knocks it down, but Price takes off to second. The throw is going to be late, and advancing on the wild pitch is Max Price. So now Frank bats with a runner in scoring position. Doesn't change things all that much for him. Of course, you'd like to just get on base with a base hit. But a fly ball to the outfield could potentially move Price to third, especially if it's towards the right side. Here's the 1-0. Ground ball towards third, past Nickerson and into left field. They're waving Price around to score, and he will. The throw into the infield is an errant one. Frank takes off for second, and he will get in there. So mark it a hit plus an error. An RBI for Frank gives the Hornets a 6-0 lead. And we've got movement coming out, a mound visit for Justice out there. And while they visit, we'll remind you today's broadcast is brought to you by Les Schwab Tires. Having the right set of tires and wheels on your vehicle is just part of an essential safety checklist. That's why Les Schwab does more than install just tires and wheels. Come on in for a free pre-trip safety check. They're going to make sure that everything is in working order at Les Schwab Tires. 3 locations in the Basin, one on Washburn Way, one on South 6th Street, and one in Merrill. Les Schwab Tires has been doing the right thing since 1952. So Frank aboard on a single, advancing on the error, and it scored Max Price, so an RBI for him as well. And that will bring up Bo Pyle, who cracked a triple in the first inning, and an RBI for him as well. An opportunity here with 1 out and the runner aboard at first. 6-0 Henley in the bottom of the third. Pyle, designated hitter, has also got action on defense at second base this season, but today just worrying about batting, and takes strike one on a pitch on the inner third of the plate. Looked like it might have been off speed there from Justice. He's had the off speed stuff working nicely today, but his fastball is just so darn straight that if it doesn't find its location, Henley has been able to take advantage of it. Here's the 0-1. That was a nice pitch, high in the zone. Pyle thought it was a ball, walked away, and can't believe it. He said, what? But he's back in the box now for a 1-1. Here's the 1-1 pitch to Pyle. Kicked and delivered from Justice. Pyle hacks at it and fouls it off. A ball and 2 strikes. It was a late strike call, to be fair to Pyle, but I think ultimately did find the upper part of the zone. Pitch has been called a strike multiple times today. Our home plate umpire, Darren Rutledge, has got a little bit of a bigger strike zone going up and down, but he is consistent with it, which is really all you can ask for. 0-2 the count to Bo Pyle. Here's the pitch. Curveball. That one is going to miss up. 2-2. He'll typically give it to you on the more straight pitches, change-ups, fastballs. The curveballs he's a little bit more strict about. A 1-2 to Bo Pyle. That one is going to be in the zone for strike 3 taken. Pyle down on strikes, and that will bring up Luke Austin. Austin struck out in his first at-bat. That was in the second inning. Justice has thrown the ball fairly well. Like I said, it's been those fastballs that Henley's been able to run into, but he has placed his changeup and curveball fairly well through the first 2 2/3 innings. Here's the pitch from Justice. That's the curveball that misses high. That's been the ones where he hasn't been able to finish that curveball. He's been missing them high. That could be dangerous, but so far they've missed so far out of the zone they don't really qualify as hangers for Henley to take advantage of. It's a 1-0 count to Austin. And he's going to step off and check the runner Frank at second. Again, Frank is out there because he singled and got an RBI there. Then he advanced to second base on an error. Justice with the 1-0. Here's the pitch. It's popped up in the infield behind second base. Ulloa Ford will be underneath it and make the catch to end the inning. 1 run for the Hornets on 1 base hit. They leave 1 stranded. They lead 6-0 as we head to the top half of the 4th on 104.3 and 960 Sports.
So lonely, I just sigh and moan. Seems like I've been away forever. Wondering if you're coming home. I just saw your face. I know you're coming home. I swear there is no place. And then I heard your voice. I know you're coming home. I know you're coming home.
This is where unconditional love and immeasurable happiness reside. This is home. Coltwell Banker, where home begins.
Well, we're getting ready for the top of the 4th inning. The score, 6-0 Henley. So far for the Hornets, 6 runs on 7 hits, no errors. Henley has left 3 runners on base. For the Vikings, no runs on 1 hit, 1 error. And they have left 1 runner on base through the first 3 innings. As we get back into the action for you, first pitch to Max Rogers is taken low for a ball. He's ahead in the count now, 1-0. Rogers, so far in the game, is 0 for 1. He grounded out to third in the first inning. The 1-0 is hit in the air to center field. Price underneath it to make the catch for the first out. Brings up Marcos Ulloa Ford. Ford headed to college next year, although not very far. He's going to Oregon Tech to play baseball for Coach Jacob Garces. First pitch to Ulloa Ford is a check swing. Did he go? Yes, he did, according to the first base umpire. 0-1, the count to Ulloa Ford. He can pitch, he can hit. Oregon Tech, I think they're going to use him maybe as both, potentially. We talked with Coach Jacob Garces at one point during the season on our talk show on Ballin' in the Basin. It's right here on this station. Ulloa Ford rips one into center, but pretty much right to Peyton Price. Back-to-back flyouts to center field and 2 quick outs for the Vikings in the top of the 4th. Excited to see that young man continue his career here locally in the Klamath Basin. Mason Spivey stepping in now. He's 0 for 1 today, a strikeout victim in the second. First pitch to him is swung on and missed, 0-1. The 0-1. That's going to be taken for a ball. Must have been a tad outside. 1-1, the count to Spivey. That one is a nice curveball from Hamilton that was swung on and missed. One of those that starts in the zone and then tails away from the right-handed hitting Spivey. Here's the 1-2. Fouled back, and that looked like that hit Shively on the shin guard and then came back and ricocheted off the back of Spivey's leg. That was a twofer there on that baseball, so they're going to let Shively walk it off. He seems to be okay. Still a ball and 2 strikes to Mason Spivey. Corbin Hamilton, by the way, has been working quickly on the mound since about the second inning, or at least that's when I picked up on it. But controlling the pace is something that the pitcher does, and Hamilton works fast. The 1-2. Taken for strike 3, another strikeout, and that will end the 4th inning. The Vikings go down in order, and we head to the bottom half of the 4th. Henley leads 6-0 on 104.3 and 960 Sports and MyBasin.com.
Threads. There are many threads that run through our region. There are churches and schools and Little League teams that bring us together and bind us into communities. There are roads and cars. There are houses and jobs and businesses, all woven together to make the fabric of our communities. There are financial threads that are part of that tapestry as well. For over 80 years, it's been our pleasure to be headquartered here, providing financial services to generations of our friends and neighbors. From that first savings account, to retirement planning, and all of the cars and houses and groceries in between, we keep your money local, investing it back into our communities, adding more threads to the fabric to make our communities stronger. Pacific Crest Federal Credit Union. Find your path.
Getting ready for the bottom of the 4th inning on 104.3 and 960 Sports and MyBasin.com as the Henley Hornets lead the Mazama Vikings 6-0. It's going to be the top of the Henley order due up this half. It's Peyton Price, Connor Shively, and Aiden Hayes. Between them today, only 1 base hit at the top of the lineup in the first 2 times through the lineup. And it'll still be Jaden Justice, who's again done a good job with this Henley order today. Again, it was a 5 spot with 2 outs in the first inning. Otherwise, though, he's done a good job. I've been impressed with how he's throwing the ball, and as just a sophomore, getting good reps against one of the best lineups in the state. Price rips one fair down the third baseline. Oh, just curved foul. And it was pretty close, but it'll just be a loud strike 1 to Price. Waiting to get the ball back in. All right. Here we go. Uloa Ford, again rooting on his teammate Justice from short. Definitely the team captain for Mazama is Uloa Ford. Strike taken on the inner third, 0-2, the count to Peyton Price. Again, 0 for 2 today. He's flown out twice, once to right and once to center. He awaits the 0-2 pitch from Justice. Here it comes. Swung on and missed on a pitch in the dirt. Carter, the throw on to first is in time. Strike out and throw him out there on the drop third strike. And the first out comes here in the bottom of the fourth. Teaching moment from the coaching staff here at Mazama. A lot of those recently telling Carter, when there's a drop third strike, step out a little bit, throw it out to the left side of the bag, keep it outside. Something like that could be dangerous. When he did throw it down there, it was more or less straight away down the line. That could cause issues, but just a good teaching moment there for Carter as Connor Shively steps in. He takes strike one. Shively's 1 for 1 today, walked, came around to score in the first, then singled in the second, was left stranded. Watches a curveball miss outside, 1-1. Good location for the curveball there from Justice that almost crept back into the zone on the outside. Right-handed pitcher going against the left-handed hitting Shively. Has to change his approach a little bit. Here he comes with the 1-1. Hit hard foul down the first base side. A ball and 2 strikes to Connor Shively. Outfield shaded towards the right side. Waiting for Shively to potentially pull this one. It's 1-2, the count to the Henley catcher. Here's the pitch. One in the dirt. Looked to be the changeup, taken for ball 2. Shively again has already worked 1 walk today. Started this count 0-2, now 2-2. Hits a bouncing ball towards first, gloved by Baith. He takes it to the bag himself for the second out this inning. That will bring up Aiden Hayes, who is 0 for 2 today. A fly out, pop out to the pitcher, and he also flew out towards right field back in the second inning, getting his third crack at things here with the bases empty and 2 outs in the bottom of the fourth. His team leads 6-0. Here's the pitch to Hayes. Ripped into left field. That's going to bounce off the wall. Hayes headed for 2, and he will stay there. No, an errant throw in. Hayes is breaking for third, and he gets in there standing. Heads up, base running there from Hayes. Started to pull up into second, saw the throw was wide coming in, and advanced. Call that a double for Hayes plus the error. And with 2 outs, now a runner at third, that brings up Mark Carpenter, not the guy you want to face with runners in scoring position. Hayes is a big important out to get in that situation. Now Carpenter, 1 for 2 today. Here's the first pitch to him. Carpenter rips one hard, deep into center field. That one is off the wall. 1 run will score. Carpenter into second. And an RBI double for the Henley third baseman makes this one 7-0. Brings up Owen Harper. Thought that one might have the distance to get over the fence, but it was hit to just about the deepest part of the field and still took its first bounce off the wall. Carpenter has added so much power in his swing the last few seasons. He's played varsity since he's a freshman. He's got a lot of reps. Primarily a pitcher when he started, but has worked himself into the lineup and might be one of the best hitters in the state. First pitch to Harper was in the dirt, and that'll make the count 1-0. 7-0 Henley in the bottom of the fourth inning. Owen Harper at the dish. He's 1 for 2 today. He hit a 2 RBI double in the first and flew out to shortstop so far in the game as Carter going out there to talk to Jaden Justice. But the conference is concluded, so we resume play. A 1-0 count to Harper. 2 outs in the bottom of the fourth and a runner on second. It's Carpenter. 7-0 Henley leads as Justice comes set. Here's a pitch. Taken outside by Harper. 2 balls, no strikes. Max Price hoping for an opportunity in this inning. He waits on deck. The 2-0 on its way to Harper. Curveball that is taken, just a bit high, 3-0. Thought it might have broke back into the zone against Harper. That one definitely was a hanger, but 3-0 the count. Here's the pitch. That one's taken for a strike, no doubt about it, 3-1. Still a good hitter's count for the power bat of Harper. That double he hit in the first was a loud one. Here's the 3-1. Curveball, Harper underneath it, popped it up in the infield. First baseman Baith under it, but called off by the pitcher, Justice, and he makes the catch. That will end the inning. The Hornets score 1 on 2 base hits. They leave 1 stranded. They lead 7-0, headed to the 5th on 104.3 and 960 Sports and mybasin.com.
Comfortable and not corporate. At Clown Falls Subaru, we built our business on that simple promise. Well, that and some of the best people you're ever going to meet. Hi, I'm Rob Cedar, General Manager at Clown Falls Subaru. Our 62 employees make it easy for us to live up to our comfortable, not corporate philosophy. Friendly faces, easy answers, straight talk, fairness, and exceptional service. These are the things you expect. These are the things that all of our people deliver. Our management team, sales pros, certified service and body shop techs, lot attendants, and detail experts are all 100% focused on you. Local people putting their friends and neighbors first. At Clown Falls Subaru, that's the only way we do business. It's comfortable, not corporate. Our team members also spend hundreds of hours each year supporting local charities and events through the Subaru Love Promise. That's the kind of people they are. We're very proud of them. They're your friends, they're your neighbors, they're glad to know you, and they want you to be glad to know them too. I'm Rob, and this is what makes us comfortable, not corporate.
Getting ready for the top of the 5th inning from Henley High School. The Hornets lead the Mazama Vikings 7-0. Due up this half for Mazama. Deshaun Carter, Carson Baith, and Jacoby Nickerson. That's 5, 6, 7 in the order for Mazama. Eight consecutive batters set down for Hamilton heading into this inning. It was Carter who last got on base with a single back in the 2nd inning. He starts out by watching ball 1 in the dirt. That makes Carter 1 for 1 on the day with that single. The 1-0 is also in the dirt, 2-0. Carter awaits the 2-0. That one will miss, 3-0. The strike zone starting to shrink on both sides. And a 3-0 count to Carter. The pitch. Carter shows bunt, pulls it back, and earns a leadoff walk in the 5th inning. And that brings up Carson Baith. This season for Baith, again, not really going how he wanted it, a .062 batting average, and he's 0 for 1 today with a fly out to center field. Now, he got a hold of that one that he sent to center field, but it was hit pretty much right to Price. That pitch is going to miss. First one to him, 1-0. Small lead off of first from Carter. The 1-0 home. Swung on and missed. 1-1 to Baith. Baith has drawn a few walks this season to get on base. He's got 2 of those, so his on-base percentage .250, but now behind in the count, a ball and 2 strikes after that last pitch. Hamilton set. The 1-2. Swung on and missed, pulled the string on Baith and got him chasing after the pitch in the dirt, 1 out. And that brings up Jacoby Nickerson. Seven strikeouts on the day for Hamilton. And Jacoby Nickerson was one of them earlier. Ground ball towards short. Hayes onto second for 1. The throw on to first is going to get by the first baseman Harper. And so safe at first is Nickerson on the fielder's choice. Carter was out trying to advance. And that will bring up Parker Whiteley with a runner on first and 2 outs. Whiteley struck out in his first at-bat. The pitch taken for strike one. A hard fastball there from Hamilton. Whiteley back in. This time he's got the batting gloves on. Maybe a bit chilly for the Mazama right fielder. 0-2. Chased a couple elevated fastballs. Hamilton can pretty much go wherever he wants to here. He's going to go with the elevated fastball, the tried and true, swung on and missed. Whiteley down on strikes, and that will end the inning. The Vikings strand one, no base hit for Mazama in that inning. They trail 7-0 as we head to the bottom half of the fifth on 104.3 and 960 Sports and MyBasin.com.
Sports was kind of what defined me as a person. I loved to play every sport I could possibly play. The Abbeys was really the family stomping ground for all of our community. Saturday afternoon, soccer tournaments, we'd head over to Abbeys afterwards. And then when we got up into middle school, on our way home, we'd stop at Abbeys after basketball games. When I go home, I want to see two things when I drive through Winston. I want to see my Abbeys, and I want to see my high school. And those are the two memories that stick out the most to me.
Getting ready for the bottom of the fifth inning. Due up this half for Henley is going to be Max Price, Lane Frank, and Bo Pyle. Henley leads 7-0 and still on the mound for Mazama. Done a good job today, Jaden Justice. 7 runs have come across on him, all of them earned, but he's placed his breaking stuff nicely. And for a Hornets order that has been known to run rule teams of Mazama's quality this season, Justice has done a good job holding the bats relatively in order. In fact, most of Henley's runs, 6 of the 7, have been scored with 2 outs in the inning. And so he's worked nicely as Max Price steps in now. An RBI double in the first and a walk in the third. Came around to score each time. And now he awaits the first one from Justice. The pitch. In the dirt, 1-0. Justice looks in, gets the sign from Carter, who sets up on the inside. Here's the 1-0. It's going to miss high, 2-0. The count to Max Price. 6, 7, and 8 due up this half. It's been productive today for Henley. 4 hits between those 3 guys in the first 2 times around. Now in his third at-bat, it's Price. The 2-0. In the dirt, 3-0. Wind starting to pick up a little bit here in the South Basin. Mostly blows across the outfield, but sometimes it can catch a jet stream blowing out towards left. The 3-0 is going to miss low. A 4-pitch walk to Price gets him aboard with nobody out in the fifth. Only the third walk surrendered by Justice today, and that's another thing important for folks who pitch against Henley. Cannot issue the free passes. And even without him, Henley obviously still up 7-0, but man, you add in a few walks in there, a couple of these extra base hits come with the bases loaded or worse. That's how Klamath Union fell so far behind back on Thursday. Just walk after walk and extra base hit leads to more runs than really Henley had any right earning, but still were there. Here's the first pitch to Lane Frank. It is flared foul, 0-1. Now, of the two previous walks for Justice, both of them have come around to score. Now his Price is second. He's aboard at first. But for Lane Frank today, 2 for 2. 2 singles and 2 RBIs for him in the first and third innings. Behind in the count, 0-1 here. And the pitch. Runner moving, a curveball, and that will kind of negate the ability for Carter to throw down. It was a good pitch there by Justice. Frank behind in the count, 0-2. Price swiped second. Nobody out. Runner in scoring position for the Hornets in the bottom of the fifth. Frank ready for the 0-2. Stares down Justice. Here's the pitch. Frank takes one in the dirt. That skips away from Carter. And Price will advance to third. Now just standing 90 feet away from scoring. Nobody out in the inning. Ball and 2 strikes. Bo Pyle on deck. Open for an opportunity to maybe drive in a run as well, but a lot up to Frank here on the 1-2. Here's the pitch. Frank hits one into shallow center field. Back is the second baseman, Black. He will not make the catch. A miscommunication. That one gets down. That's going to score Price. Frank is aboard at second after the error. Probably have to give that one an E4. It looked like Black had called everybody off. Ulloa Ford was in the neighborhood, but just kind of stood there as Black called him off and then just dropped to the turf. Rogers was there too from center. A run comes in to score. It's now 8-0 Henley, and the runner at second is Frank. Here's Bo Pyle, who tripled home a run in the first and struck out in the third. Here's the pitch. Pyle, a bouncing ball towards third, foul. 0-1 the count to him. Still nobody out in this inning and 1 run already home for the Hornets. Oh, 0-1 the count to Pyle after that foul ball. A lot of weight on his back foot. Here's the 0-1. A curveball that Pyle just got under. Flared out towards shallow right field, but no one is there to make the catch. It bounces off Black's glove and kicks away. Frank is going to get to third, and up to second is Pyle. And that might have been playable by the first baseman, but he went to the bag. That required Black to run across the backside of the infield. Just a tough play for him to make. Ultimately, probably should have been made by the first baseman. But now 2 runners in scoring position for Luke Austin. And unfortunately, that error is charged to Black. Back-to-back errors for him. And 2 runners in scoring position. The first pitch to Austin. It's an off-speed pitch that missed high. 1-0. And the winning run for Henley waits out at second base. That's Bo Pyle. If he were to score this inning, mercy rule in effect, Henley would win. Austin takes strike 1 there. 1-1. No hits this inning for Henley, but a run home and 2 runners in scoring position. Price got aboard on a walk and then back-to-back errors at second base. It's a 1-1 count to Austin. He's 0 for 2 today. Here's the pitch. In the dirt, Carter keeps it in front of him. Good work there by the Mazama catcher. 2 balls and a strike. Coming set with it is Justice. And he delivers the 2-1 home to Austin. Again in the dirt, blocked by Carter. A couple of ones that have bounced to the plate. Count moves to 3-1. Austin this season, he has 8 runs batted in. The winning run waits out there at second. Big lead off a second by Pyle, too. His secondary, he's going to get about halfway down the line. The 3-1 swung on and missed on the off-speed pitch. I think Austin got his eyes a bit wide for that one, but just kind of swung right through it. The count runs full now, 3-2. Said with it is Justice. The full count pitch. It's going to miss and load the bases for the top of the Henley order, Peyton Price. Now, Austin at first, ultimately, at this point in the game, doesn't matter all that much unless someone gets thrown out on the base paths. Because, again, that winning run is at second. Peyton Price steps in now. He's 0 for 3. What a time it would be to come up with his first base hit of the ball game. He's flown out twice and struck out once. Here's the pitch. He sends that one into left field. Into is Spivey, and that one is going to get down. Frank will score. Pyle stays at third. So now it is 9-0 Henley. The bases remain loaded for Connor Shively. RBI single for Price. He's aboard at first. And this will bring up Shively. I mentioned he is 1 for 2 today. Walked and scored a run in the first. Singled in the second and grounded out in the fourth. First pitch to Shively is ripped to left field. That will get down, and that will end the ball game. The Hornets mercy rule the Vikings in the first of a doubleheader today, 10-0. We'll be back, and we'll recap this game for you as we saw it today on 104.3 and 960 Sports. Once again, the final score, Henley 10, Mazama 0. We'll be back on 104.3 and 960 Sports.
Thanks to Les Schwab Tires, I'm a confident backseat driver, but Mom's a little stressed about spending. Remember, breathe in. Now watch your speed and breathe out. Good. Even though we're watching our wallets, Les Schwab is still watching out for our safety. So turn here.
Help keep drivers and backseat drivers safe with Les Schwab Tires.
This is where unconditional love and immeasurable happiness reside. This is home. Colt Welker, where home begins.
Comfortable and not corporate. At Clown Falls Subaru, we built our business on that simple promise. Well, that and some of the best people you're ever going to meet. Hi, I'm Rob Cedar, General Manager at Clown Falls Subaru. Our 62 employees make it easy for us to live up to our comfortable, not corporate philosophy. Friendly faces, easy answers, straight talk, fairness, and exceptional service. These are the things you expect. These are the things that all of our people deliver. Our management team, sales pros, certified service and body shop techs, lot attendants, and detail experts are all 100% focused on you. Local people putting their friends and neighbors first. At Clown Falls Subaru, That's the only way we do business. It's comfortable, not corporate. Our team members also spend hundreds of hours each year supporting local charities and events through the Subaru Love Promise. That's the kind of people they are. We're very proud of them. They're your friends, they're your neighbors, they're glad to know you, and they want you to be glad to know them too. I'm Rob, and this is what makes us comfortable, not corporate.
Final score in game 1 of 2 this afternoon from Henley High School. The Mazama Vikings falling to Henley 10-0. 10 runs on 9 hits today for Henley. No errors for the Hornets. They left 5 runners on base. And for the Vikings today, no runs on 1 hit. They committed 4 errors. They left 2 runners on base today. The winning pitcher is going to be Corbin Hamilton. He worked all 5 innings for Henley today. He gave up 1 hit, walked 1, struck out 9. Losing pitcher is going to be Jaden Justice, who worked 4 innings for Mazama today, gave up 11 hits, 10 runs, only 8 of them earned. He walked 4 and struck out 3. A couple of notables for Henley today. I'll highlight Owen Harper, who knocked in 2 runs on a single earlier in the ballgame, also scored a run. Max Price got aboard every time he went up to the plate, scored 3 runs, although he was only 1 for 1 with hits and at-bats. He also knocked in an RBI, again with 2 walks as well. We'll be back in, about 20 minutes with the second of a doubleheader today from Henley High School. For those of you watching on mybasin.com, just going to take a brief pause, and we'll be back. For those of you listening on 104.3 and 960 Sports, we'll get you some Fox Sports Radio in the meantime. This is Josh Eldred saying see you soon from Henley High School. All right, getting ready for the second of two this afternoon from Henley High School between the Henley Hornets and the Mazama Vikings. A 10-0 run rule in the first game lines us up for probably beating the weather this afternoon, as scheduled for about a 1:45 first pitch, but the team's swapping lineups in the middle right now. So let's go ahead and we'll just meet the starting lineups for both teams, and let's start with the visiting Mazama Vikings. Leading off and at third base is going to be Jaden Justice. Marcos Ulloa Ford is pitching and batting second. Deshaun Carter is catching, hitting third. The left fielder Mason Spivey hits fourth. Max Rogers batting fifth in center field, followed by Carson Bates at first base and hitting sixth. Jacoby Nickerson is at batting seventh and at shortstop today, followed by Parker Whiteley in right, batting eighth, and Kevin Black at second base, who is batting ninth. That's your starting lineup for the Mazama Vikings, and they're going up against Mark Carpenter on the mound today for Henley, one of the most dominant arms in the state. And as we take a look at the pitching numbers for Carpenter this season, this will be start number 3 for him. This is his 7th appearance overall. He's worked 19 innings, and in that work, he has a sub-1 ERA, .36. To be exact, 1 earned run in his 19 innings of work. That is remarkable. The right-handed thrower from Henley is going up against the Vikings order that has yet to produce a run against the Hornets this season, and they are 1-10 overall, 0-3 in league play. Henley earned their 13th win earlier today. They are 5-0 in conference play, hoping to collect another Skyline Conference title. They're looking to go back-to-back, and if they do that, it would be the first time a team won back-to-back conference titles since Henley did it in 2018 and 2019. And it looks like we are just about ready for first pitch today. Again, my name is Josh Eldridge. Thank you for making some time on your Saturday afternoon to spend the day with us here at Rosser Field on the campus of Henley High School. Rosser Field in beautiful shape today. As you take a look around the dimensions, 325 down the line to right. In right center, 350. Dead center is 385. Left center is 350. And 315 down the left field line. So not exactly a uniform ballpark, but one that the Hornets enjoy playing in nonetheless. Only unbeaten at home this season. Their one loss came at a tournament in Newport to Banks, and it was a 1-run loss. Since then, Henley has ripped off 7 consecutive victories and find themselves against the Vikings once more today. We are ready to get going, and to lead off, it's going to be Jaden Justice. He started on the mound for Mazama in the first game, and although he gave up 8 earned runs, he didn't issue many free passes, and realistically, a good game on the mound for him in Game 1. Picked up the loss, and at the plate, he was 0 for 2 in the first game. Here he goes now against Mark Carpenter. The pitch. Good hard fastball in the zone, 0-1. Carpenter comes at you with a hard fastball. He can throw the 4-seam, he can throw the 2-seam, has a nice slider, and pulls the string with a deadly changeup. Just throwing gas on the first 2 strikes of the game. Jaden Justice behind in the count, 0-2. Here's a pitch. Swung on and missed. 3 straight strikes, and down swinging is Jaden Justice, and that brings up Marcos Ulloa Ford. Ulloa Ford in that first game, again, didn't have a ton of opportunity. The Viking order only batted around twice, but Ulloa Ford 0 for 2 in that game, a strikeout and a flyout. Batting third in the order in that last game, now hitting second today. Takes the first pitch for a ball, 1-0. Carpenter threw that one in the dirt, took about 1 hop and rattled off the brick backstop here at Henley High School. Took a nasty one, but 1-0. A nice breaking pitch that found the zone. A ball and a strike now to Ulloa Ford. A lot of friendly faces out here at Henley High School. Kids running around. Even in the chilly temperatures, people still make time for baseball in the basin. A ball and 2 strikes after Ulloa Ford fouled that one off. Mentioned the temperature. Might get rain towards the end of this one, hoping we can beat the weather. But right now, 54 degrees at first pitch. Ball and 2 strikes to Uloa Ford. Taken for strike 3 call. Down looking. Back-to-back Ks for Carpenter to start the ball game. Brings up Deshaun Carter. Carter reached base both times in the first game of a doubleheader today. He singled in the second, walked, and was out on the base paths in the fifth. And the first pitch to him here is an off-speed pitch in the dirt. 1-0. Good eye there by Carter. And that one will miss in as well. 2-0 the count. See what Carpenter comes with here on this 0-2 pitch. That one will miss. 3-0. Carpenter having trouble placing the fastball against Carter. Danger of a 2-out walk that would bring up Mason Spivey. Here's the pitch from Carpenter. That one finds the zone. Carter looked like he was taken all the way there. 3-1. And strike 2. Good job by Carpenter there to work back into this at-bat. At one point down 3-0. Now the count runs full. Carpenter from the windup. Here's the full count pitch. Bouncing ball foul down the third base side in front of the Mazama dugout. Count remains full. 3-2. That one taken in the dirt. Ball 4, a 2-out base runner for the Vikings, brings up Mason Spivey. Spivey struck out twice in the first game today, and by the way, Deshaun Carter is the catcher getting a courtesy runner. It'll be Carter Story, the freshman, on the base paths for Mazama. Throw over to first, and they caught Story sleeping. He's picked off at first, and that will be the end of the inning. Heading to the bottom half of the first, still scoreless on 104.3 and 960 Sports.
Thanks to Les Schwab Tires, I'm a confident backseat driver, but Mom's a little stressed about spending. Remember, breathe in. Now watch your speed and breathe out. Good. Even though we're watching our wallets, Les Schwab is still watching out for our safety. So turn here.
Help keep drivers and backseat drivers safe with Les Schwab Tires.
Getting ready for the bottom of the first inning, and let's meet the starting lineup for the Henley Hornets. Leading off in center field is going to be Peyton Price, followed by the catcher Connor Shively. Batting third is Aiden Hayes, the shortstop. Then Mark Carpenter, the pitcher, is batting cleanup today. Owen Harper bats fifth at first base. Max Price at third base hits sixth. Lane Frank bats seventh today in right field, followed by Bo Pyle, the second baseman, batting eighth. And rounding out the Henley order is Luke Austin in left. They'll be going up against Marcos Uloa Ford, who's pitched a bulk of Mazama innings this year. This is his fifth start, 8th appearance overall. He's pitched 23 innings, and in those 23 innings, an ERA of 2.47. He's been the best pitcher that Mazama has had this season, and an opportunity for him to go up against one of the best lineups in the state. Henley ranked number 1 in the 4A coming into today's game. But Ulloa Ford has a lot of experience against these guys. He's been a varsity player for 4 seasons for Mazama and plays summer ball with a lot of these Henley guys as well with the Klamath Falls Falcons. And so we'll see how Ulloa Ford fares against this lineup today. Again, it was a 10-0 win for Henley in the first game. And just in the bottom of the first here in the second of a doubleheader. Peyton Price getting ready to step in. The right-handed leadoff hitter for Henley. Waits the first pitch from Ulloa Ford, taken high, 1-0. One-0 count to Price. Takes a pitch inside the zone, a ball and a strike. Price batting .385 this season. 5 extra base hits for him this year as well. Here's the 1-1. That's going to miss high, 2-1. Price in the first game today was 1 for 4. The 2-1 finds the zone, 2-2 to Price. Can start to see the rain, if you're watching on mybasin.com, far to the south of us. Kind of feels like it's encircling us, but it hasn't quite gotten to us yet. That pitch will miss high, and it's a full count early to Peyton Price. Price awaits the full count pitch. Here it comes. Fouled back. Count remains full, 3-2. Connor Shively on deck, then Aiden Hayes for the Hornets, wearing gray pants and navy blue jerseys today. Full count in the dirt, and that will be a walk. Aboard at first is Price for Connor Shively. Shively this season leading the team in batting average, a scorching .543 batting average, and that was sparked up last game as well when he went 1 for 2. Here's the first pitch to Shively, showing bunt, pulls back in time, but a called strike 1 against the Henley catcher. 0-1 the count. Price potentially a threat to go, so they try to pick him behind after that pitch. It's in the zone, 0-2. Price only has 1 stolen base on the season this year as that pitch misses low. 1-2, the count to Connor Shively, one of Ulloa Ford's Falcon teammates. Marcos on the mound, fires a hard grounder into right field. And rounding second, headed for third is Peyton Price. That got past Whiteley and right. They're going to wave him around and try to score early. Peyton Price scores from first on the hit plus the error. And winding up at second was Connor Shively. Henley leads 1-0 in the bottom of the first. Aiden Hayes stepping in now, the starting shortstop for Henley. Pitch to him is taken for a strike. 0-1 to Hayes. This season he's batting .378 with 15 RBI on the year. A runner in scoring position, nobody out for Hayes, who wraps one into right field. Whiteley comes up with that one, but waving around third is Shively. He will score. And Henley leads now 2-0. An RBI for Hayes. Henley up 2 for Mark Carpenter, the pitcher. In the first game today, He was 2 for 3 with an RBI double in the fourth. Carpenter leads his team in runs batted in this season. And a pickoff move over to first and out of play. And so Hayes advances to second. Now he's in scoring position. Carpenter, 24 runs batted in this year and 4 homers on the season. Carpenter caught chasing an off-speed pitch from Ulloa Ford, low out of the zone. 0-1 the count to Carpenter. Here's a pitch. Swung on and missed again. 0-2. Carpenter back in the box now. Ready to deliver the 0-2 pitches. Ulloa Ford. Carpenter chased out of the zone and a strikeout. Carpenter goes down swinging. And now 1 out and a runner at second base for Owen Harper. Harper productive in the first game today. I know he had that RBI double in the opening frame. Other than that, he was 1 for 3. Takes ball one there, 1-0. Ulloa Ford comes set, dishes the 1-0. That one will miss low and into Harper. 2-0 to the Henley first baseman. Around the diamond for Mazama. Deshaun Carter is catching. Jaden Justice at third. Nickerson at short. Black at second. And Baith at first. We'll get to the outfield after this. The 2-0 is taken inside, and Deshaun Carter tried to throw down to third, but it hit off the helmet of Owen Harper. We're going to say, are they going to call interference? They got to call interference on somebody? Was he out of the box when... So the question is, was Harper out of the box when he got hit? He's well within his rights to be in the batter's box. So Harper was in the batter's box when he got hit in the helmet, so no interference. Safely at third is the runner Hayes. And so figuring that one out, it's a 3-0 count to Harper, who takes one in the dirt, and that will be ball 4. Runners at the corners for Max Price. Price starting at third base in this game. Got the start at second in the first game, but was 1 for 1 with an RBI double. Other than that, he walked. He scored 3 runs in the first game. Harper taking off from first. The throw down to second is going to wind up in center field, and that will score Hayes from third. Harper advancing to third, and now another run in for Henley. That's 3 runs home, and another Mazama error. That is their third. Hayes to score. Again, Harper to third. Max Price batting with a runner 90 feet away and just 1 out in the inning. Price offers up and misses at that pitch. Bouncing ball towards third. Charging is Justice. He's going to go to 1 for the out, but the first baseman, Baith, can't control it. And Price aboard on an error. A run comes in to score, and Henley leads 4-0. Price aboard on the E3. Another Mazama error, and that brings up Lane Frank. And time is called. And is there something in the field, perhaps? Oh, just trying to get the umpires in the right spot. Okay. And we're ready. Frank stepping in now, the starting right fielder for Henley. The pitch to him, and runner taking off. Price is going to swipe second. The throw down looked like it was cut off by Ulloa Ford. And so Price in scoring position with 1 out. Frank offers it a pitch in the dirt. Count now 0-2 to the Henley right fielder. That rain that was quite a bit south looks like it's moving towards us. Unsure when it may reach us as Frank goes down swinging. Strike 3, 2 outs in the inning for Bo Pyle. That pitch is going to bounce off the backstop. Advancing to third is Price. Now a runner at third with 2 outs for Bo Pyle. Pyle this season is batting .267. He fouls that one back. The count 1-1. The 1-1 home. Swung on and missed on the elevated fastball. A good pitch there by Uloa Ford. And 1-2 the count now to Pyle. 4-0. Henley leads in the bottom of the first. Pyle watches that one skip away from Carter. Breaking for the plate is Price, and the throw in is going to be to the left. Uloa Ford unable to apply the tag, and Henley up 5-0 here in the bottom of the first, similar to how they started the last game. Although a little bit different. All those 5 runs were earned. To my count, I don't believe any of these runs have been earned against Uloa Ford. The 2-2 on its way. Taken for strike 3 called, and that will end the inning. The Hornets, they played 5 on 2 base hits in the inning. We go to the top of the second with Henley up 5-0 on 104.3 and 960 Sports and MyBasin.com.
The innocence of youth. Is there anything any better? But soon they'll be in high school and facing all the same challenges you faced. How to make friends, how to fit in, how to be cool. We want our children to have everything they'll need to live fulfilling and productive lives. Make sure the kids in your family are among the more than 120,000 participants here in Oregon who take part in high school sports or activities.
Getting a bit dark here in the South Basin with gray clouds looming overhead. Again, rain was supposed to start sometime this hour, maybe. Some forecasts said 2 o'clock, some said 4 o'clock. Regardless, it is a gray cloud looming overhead today. It makes for kind of a neat lighting fixture, I suppose, on the ball field with the grass still shining. Top of the second inning for the Vikings who trail Henley, 5-0. It's Mason Spivey, Max Rogers, and Carson Bate. Carpenter fires in the 0-1. It's fouled off. The count now 0-2. Maybe you can hear the train off towards the south. You can possibly see it on the video stream sneaking behind the trees above Spivey's head. And strike 3 called against Mason. Down looking for the first out. Max Rogers to bat now. Rogers, starting center fielder for Mazama today. One of 4 freshmen on this roster. Rogers was 0 for 2 in the first game earlier today. Quickly down in the count 0-2. Carpenter throwing strikes this Mazama order. Here's the 0-2. Swung on and missed. 6 pitches, 2 strikeouts for Carpenter here in the second. And Carson Bate now batting with the bases empty and 2 away. That is a ground ball, weakly hit towards second. Pyle charging, underhand toss to Harper at first, and the Vikings down in order in the second, 1-2-3. So we go to the bottom half of the second. Henley leads 5-0 on 104.3 and 960 Sports and MyBasin.com.
What rhymes with great?
Participate.
Where does greatness start? Here, in the classroom. On the stage.
In the pool. On the field.
Where will your greatness take you?
To better grades.
To more friends.
Yeah! Be great.
Participate!
Well, as we get ready to, and as we prepare for the second inning, a hailstorm has hit us in the South Basin, and trying to keep dry over here, but definitely proving a challenge so far. And certainly going to enter a delay. It came on so fast, you hope it might pass fast too, although we really have no way of knowing. Huge pieces of hail coming down. And we'll probably just have to wait for it to pass. It's slowing down maybe a little bit, but not all that much. They'll have to clear the field as well. And probably a better view for today's game indoors than it has been for us over the last couple of minutes. Like I said, it was kind of starting to flirt with raining when the storm was kind of blowing over the gray clouds, and it just happened so fast. Right as we went to commercial break a moment ago, it just started in. We're scheduled to be in the bottom of the second inning, a game that Henley leads Mazama 5-0. But still hailing out here. Mazama took the field for about 30 seconds and then sprinted off. Umpires huddling in the Henley dugout. Other games going on in the Skyline Conference today probably having issues, as Klamath Union was set to play Phoenix today over at Kiger Stadium. Unsure if they've got hit by the hail that's coming down yet. Sure you can hear it bouncing off my microphone, but really coming down out here. Now it's kind of transitioning to rain a little bit, so not as frozen, but still in a pretty harsh delay. We'll see what we decide to do. I wonder if we're going to wait a few minutes or possibly make a decision. I'll see what I can find out for you in a moment. But the hail turning into rain, and it might actually pass over us here in not too short of a time, at least looking towards the south where the storm came from. Whiter clouds and bluer skies as a few fans head for the exits, probably just to seek some shelter in their vehicles, but the hail has stopped. The rain's still coming down. No hurry to tarp the infield, although I don't typically think they tarp the infield here at Henley. Not as brutal of a downpour as a couple of minutes ago. And there's thunderstorms as well. Really right on cue for what we thought the thunder might roll in. We thought some forecasts said 2 o'clock, some said 4 o'clock. But here we are at 2 p.m. and rain and thunderstorms, which means lightning probably isn't too far away. The forecast says it's only supposed to get worse from here. Again, unsure if we'll get to resume the game today. Again, once I see someone who might be able to let me know what's going on and try to find out, although I think everyone is sort of just waiting until the hail, which is resumed, stops once more. Well, in the meantime, here's what we'll do. And I'm sure those of you listening for Henley Baseball aren't really here for the Josh Eldridge weather report. What I'll do is I'll pause the broadcast on mybasin.com, leave our photo up there. And for those of you listening on the radio on 104.3 and 960 Sports, we'll return you to normal Fox Sports radio programming. And then we will return, if we return today from Henley High School. Again, thank you so much for being with us for the time that you have. And if we get to resume, I'll be sure to be here with you for it. My name is Josh Eldridge. You've been listening to Henley Baseball on 104.3 and 960 Sports and mybasin.com. The electronics.
Oh man.
Is there such thing? I wish. I think I got the towel on it soon enough, but
I have an extra umbrella if you want to borrow it.
oh, that might help. We'll see.
It's pretty. It's pretty.
Called it right there. You just called it? I don't know. That's what I'm wondering. Yeah. We'll just call it. That was it?
Thank you guys. They didn't call this one to pop up. I appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Well, yeah, because it's over now, but we're going to wait a minute, okay?
I'll worry about this later.